lights up on the very familiar setting of Sleepy Hollow. We are in the middle of a group of houses as our scene is set. Various children and adults are milling about, talking, playing, laughing, running errands, etc. Soon, a boy comes strutting onto the stage with a purposeful stride to his step. This is a young Brom Bones. He carries with him in his hand a bouquet of flowers, though the state of them is not what you would call appealing. Petals are falling off them, they are riddled with dirt, roots are showing at the bottom of them, etc. It's quite obvious Brom has pulled these flowers out from the ground a short time ago. He gets to the center of the stage, but we soon hear whistles from offstage, and a group of boys chattering and talking excitedly as Brom stops and turns to the source of the whistles.
Oh, oh. Hey, you fellas. Go swimming at the lake? Ah, sorry, fellas. I can't right now. I have to deliver these flowers to Katrina Van Tassel. Ah, dear sweet Katrina. Sissy? Who are you dopes calling a sissy? Just because I happen to like Katrina. How about I knock all of your heads together? Huh?
Soon, Katrina Van Tassel herself comes walking onto the stage. She looks prim, pretty, and pristine, wearing a nice yellow dress. She hums sweetly to herself as she primps her hair and gazes about at the surrounding area as Brom eyes her, then eyes the boys off stage.
There she is now. All of you shut up and beat it.
He struts over to Katrina slowly. Soon he skids to a stop and he smooths his hair out with a free hand, then roughly pokes Katrina's shoulder a few times to get her attention.
Hey, Katrina.
Oh, Brom. Good morrow.
Here, these are for you. Go on, take them. Come on, don't just stare at them. Take them. They're a gift for you.
Brom, where in heaven's name did you get those?
I bought them from the local flower seller not too far from here.
I see, and, did the seller include the roots for them as well? And the dirt too?
Maybe?
Oh, for goodness sake, Brom, you caveman! You obviously pulled those out of the ground from some poor person's garden. Look at this! You're getting dirt on my nice new shoes and dress that my father bought for my birthday.
Brom looks, confused, at Katrina's shoes, causing more dirt to erupt from the flowers. Katrina shrieks and backs up.
Eek, stop! You're getting more dirt on me!
Louie, there's barely any dirt on you. Take the darn flowers already.
I most certainly will not. Those are daisies. I don't like daisies. I like pink roses. I've told you that many times before, but you don't bother to listen, obviously.
Ah, come on, you pretty thing. Can't you just show me a bit of thanks? I picked these for you, not for my health.
Thanks, I suppose.
You suppose? Ugh, girls, never a kind word to say, even when you do good.
Meanwhile, onto the stage walks a timid, nervous, shy young Ichabod Crane. He holds a single pink rose in his hand as he spots Katrina and shyly walks over to her. He gently taps her shoulder to get her attention.
Good day to you, Katrina, my love.
Oh, Ichabod, my love. Hello.
Oh, brother.
Katrina, I got something for you.
He shyly hands her the pink rose.
I saved up some coins and I bought you this. I would have gotten you more, but I could only afford one. But I wanted to give it to you, to the prettiest girl in town.
Ugh, I'm gonna be sick. All this mushy, lovey-dovey nonsense.
Ichabod, my sweet handsome prince.
She puts her hands to his cheeks and gently, sweetly rubs noses with him.
You always know just what I like in a flower. Thank you.
Oh, golly.
Ichabod, my father isn't around, and neither are the maids who look after me. What do you say we steal a quick kiss? You have my full permission, of course.
Kiss? Why would I ever?
The two pucker up and lean in, though before they can kiss, Brom walks over and speaks.
Stop, for heaven's sake! Before I lose my lunch all over the place. Stop.
Is there a problem, Mr. Bones?
Yeah, don't tell me you two are going to smooch. Bless. That's just revolting. Mushy junk.
Oh, come off of it, Brom. Don't pretend like you wouldn't want to be in Ichabod's place.
Huh?
If I recall, you courted me quite heavily before the harvest ball. The ball, I might add, you stood me up at. You claimed you loved me, claimed I was the only girl for you. And yet now you want to act like all of the things you wish you could do are mushy?
Brom is stunned. He is clearly at a loss for words. Katrina goes on.
Just admit it. You only think that way because you're jealous of Ichabod, aren't you?
It's a fair point, Brom.
Quiet, sissy. No one was talking to you.
Don't you speak to him that way, you ape, you beast. Oh, I don't even wish to look at you right now, honestly. Ichabod, my love, come. Let's take a walk along the garden path, just you and I, yes?
Go ahead of me. I'll be with you in just a moment, Katrina.
I shall be waiting for you, my dear. Good day, Mr. Bones.
She blows Ichabod a kiss, then giggles and goes off as Ichabod goes over to Brom.
Brom?
If I were you, I'd get far, far away from me, Ichabod.
Brom, listen.
I'm warning you, Crane. I'll punch you so hard, your head will spin around 50 times.
I just wish to ask you one question, then I will go.
Make it quick.
Brom, why isn't it you don't like me?
What?
I thought the two of us were friends, but I guess I was wrong. You've been so very cruel to me, so mean. Why? What did I ever do to you?
What did you ever do to me? Huh. Gee. Does you stealing away from Katrina for me ring a bell? Darn you, Ichabod. You knew I had feelings for Katrina. She's the most beautiful angel of a being I've ever laid eyes on. And you stole her away from me like a thief in the night.
Brom, with all due respect, you stood her up at the harvest ball, and you didn't even bother to apologize to her, or make sure she was okay.
I was going to. I just needed time to make sure the other fellas didn't rag on me and call me a sissy about it.
I admit, I had and still have feelings for Katrina too, but I certainly didn't try to steal her away. It just happened. We began to fall for one another, but you can't blame anyone but yourself for it, for the mistakes you made.
You have 3 seconds to get away from me, or so help me.
Don't get mad because I'm telling the truth.
Get away.
Things could have been different if you had have been kinder.
I said get away now.
Fine. If you want to wallow in self-pity, be my guest. As for me, I have a date with Katrina along the garden path. Excuse me.
Ichabod begins to go off as Brom stares an angry hole through him. Ichabod soon turns back and, much to Brom's shock, he blows a raspberry at him, then goes off.
Well, That stick-figured goof. I'll show him a thing or two. Katrina wants to be alone with him, eh? Well, I'll just have to be a third wheel.
He hurries off as we black out momentarily for a scene change. When the lights come back on, we are near a cottage and a large oak tree situated near it. Soon, Ichabod and Katrina, hand in hand, walk onto the stage and towards the oak tree.
Shall we sit underneath her for shade?
Certainly.
He helps her into a seated position and gently sits next to her.
There we are.
Thank you, kind sir.
Any time, milady.
Ah, how nice it is to be here with you, Ichabod. And away from that brute, Brom Bones.
Goodness, no matter how much I try to see the good in him, he goes and proves what a bully he can be. I tried to talk civilly to him, but he was more interested than fighting with me.
Oh, the nerve of that boy!
Never mind him. Let's just enjoy this moment together.
Yes, together.
The two cuddle up as Katrina sweetly, gently plays with Ichabod's hair as he smittenly sighs. Soon, we hear the sound of a man's voice angrily shouting something from within the cottage.
Get a move on, you lummox! You feeble-minded dolt! I said move! For God's sake, you're a dullard and slow as molasses.
Goodness, who could that be?
I don't know.
Soon, out lumbers Mad George, the village idiot from Ichabod's ghost. He is carrying several boxes with him as he struggles to keep them from falling. A man follows not too far behind, the source of the voice. He looks angry and mean.
Look, Ichabod, it's George! George, darling, hello!
George momentarily glances at Katrina, then he smiles and waves at her, though this causes him to drop the boxes with a crash. The man angrily hits George with a small baton once, then twice, in the shoulder. George winces in pain. Katrina and Ichabod watch in shock and horror.
You clumsy ox! You've dropped all of those boxes. George, God help you if anything is broken, or so help me, I'll have Constable Atticus give you a beating.
Oh, George is sorry, Mr. Sir. George was just...
Shut up! And don't call me Mr. Sir. I'm Mr. Melkin, you idiot. How many blasted times must I repeat that?
Yes, Mr. Melkin, sir. George forgets sometimes.
Goodness, poor George.
Oh, that mean old Mr. Melkin. How can he treat George so cruelly?
Brom, meanwhile, pops onto the stage. He spots Ichabod and Katrina first, and he smirks.
Aha, found them. Now then, to crack their little mushy date.
Brom, however, spots George and Mr. Melkin, who continues to berate and hit George with the baton.
I didn't task you to move these boxes to the chicken coop for my health, George. I did it to get the job done. And it can't be done if you mess everything up. Now pick up those blasted boxes and move.
Gosh, Mr. Melkin is acting like a big jerk. Poor George. He's not a bad person. Why is he doing that to him?
Mr. Sir?
Melkin, damn you, say it right.
Mr. Melkin, sir, can George rest? George is very hot and thirsty. Could George have water, please?
No, you cannot have water. I reserve water for workers who do their work, not village idiots who crash things and work at a snail's pace.
But sir, please. George hasn't had a rest or drink all day. George feels very weak.
Good. I hope you drop dead right here. It'll serve you right for the terrible job you've done. Don't gape at me, you fool. Do your blasted job now.
Katrina can no longer stand by and watch. She breaks away from Ichabod and marches up to Mr. Melkin, beating at his back with her fists.
Katrina, wait!
Don't you hurt him anymore. Stop it right now. George is a sweet, gentle man. You've no right to hurt him. You monster. You beast.
Ow! What in the world? Oh, you, the Van Tassel girl.
Pretty lady, hello. George is happy to see you. How is Pretty Lady doing?
Keep quiet. Ms. Van Tassel, George was tasked by me to do a job. I'm paying him for it, and you're distracting him. Now, if you please, go about your business.
I shall do no such thing. I saw you hurting him, berating him. I won't let you do it any longer. George, darling, come with Ichabod and I. We'll bring you back to my house, and my father will give you some water and some lunch. Okay?
Oh, that sounds nice. Pretty Lady is so kind to George.
You're not going anywhere. I believe I told you to go about your business. Did I not?
I will not turn a blind eye to you hurting George.
Miss Van Tassel, I respect your father immensely, but I will not have any backtalk from you. Now, I'm asking you nicely. Go away.
No, I won't go. You'll just hurt George worse. I'm not leaving.
I am rapidly losing my patience with you, girl.
You're hurting me. Stop.
You had your chance to leave.
Let her go! Don't hurt her!
He rushes up to Mr. Melkin and helps get Katrina out of his grip. He balls his hand into fists as he defiantly stares down Melkin.
And what's this, Your little boyfriend, I assume, Ms. Van Tassel?
Mr. Melkin, you need to stop. Don't you lay a finger on Katrina and leave George alone as well.
I suppose you think you can stop me, You're a man now suddenly, eh? Well, go on. Try and stop me.
Ichabod frowns and punches Mr. Melkin in the stomach. Melkin winces for a moment, then frowns.
That took guts, my lad. I applaud you. But since you wish to act like a man, you shall be treated as one.
Melkin roughly backhands Ichabod across the face. Katrina screams in fright as Ichabod groans and hits the ground from the force of the blow. Melkin smirks and grabs Ichabod by the collar and stands him up. Ichabod's nose is now bleeding.
Go on, boy. Do you wish to try again? Or are you going to know your place and scamper off with your little girlfriend here?
Ichabod wearily stomps on Melkin's foot. Melkin winces again, then frowns and rears back his hand to strike Ichabod again.
You little rat.
Brom, his conscience no doubt guiding him, rushes up and punches Melkin square in the jaw. Melkin rubs his jaw, then frowns.
Come on, you. Pick on someone your own size. Leave Ichabod alone. Leave everyone here alone. Or do you want another punch, huh?
Ah, the bones, kid, I see. You've got quite the punch. You're just as strong as your father is.
I mean, I am.
Please, Mr. Sir, don't hurt Pretty Lady anymore. Or friend Ichabod, or friend Brom. Please, they're just little ones. George wants you to stop.
That settles it, you idiot, you bloated moron. Did you send these three little brats here to protect you? Huh? Well, they're not in charge of this cottage. I am. I'm the bloody boss here. Do you understand me? Do you?
He roughly slaps George across the face. George is finally losing his good nature.
Answer me when I ask you a question.
George silently, angrily, stares down Melkin. He now begins to back Melkin up. Melkin, seeing that George is not only angry, but much taller and more imposing than him, begins to nervously smile, though the color is draining from his face. He has made a grave mistake.
Uh, George? Uh, George, come now. I was just kidding you, George. I meant no harm. Come, I'll get you a nice big pitcher of water and some sandwiches. There's no need to be angry.
Are you okay, pal?
I think he broke my nose.
I'm here, Ichabod. Don't worry. Katrina, are you okay as well?
He squeezed my wrist, but it's fine now. Goodness, I've never seen George get this angry before.
I have. He's usually very good-natured, but I've seen him get angry at Constable Atticus' men before when they hassled him. And when he gets angry, you need to watch out.
George? Please, George. Let's just calm down and pretend this didn't happen. Children, go on to your homes. I promise I'll give George some rest and food and water. No hard feelings, George?
George grabs Mr. Melkin by the collar and shouts right into his face.
You no hit George anymore. You make George mad. George doesn't like you, Mr. Sir. George doesn't like getting hurt by you. You leave George alone. And you leave George's little friends alone, too. You do it now. Now!
George paintbrushes Melkin with a backhand slap, once, then twice, then 3 times. Brom helps Ichabod and Katrina to get to cover as Melkin, dazed on his feet, is held up by George holding his collar. With a mighty yell, George tosses Melkin to the ground.
George!
George, calm down. It's fine now.
George will snap Mr. Sir's neck. George is angry now.
George, darling, please.
Come on, George. Calm down, my friend. Come on now.
Brom, be careful. He looks very angry.
George, Mr. Milk is not going to do anything else to you or us today. Right, sir? Right, sir?
Yeah, right.
And he's going to pay you your wages and let you go early, right?
Mr. Melkin fishes in his pocket and he pulls out some paper bills and shakily hands them to Brom. Brom hands the bills to George.
Here, give this to him and get him out of here. Now.
Okay, George. No more being angry. It's all over. Come on. Friend George, for me and Ichabod and pretty lady Katrina. Let's go.
A long, anxious silence. Katrina and Ichabod cautiously go up and stand with Brom. Katrina gently takes George's hand in hers.
Please, George, for me. Pretty lady, walk us all home, yes?
Come on, George. For all of us. Please.
George will take his friends home. George is sorry, he shouted.
You're forgiven, George. No one here is mad at you.
Of course. None of us are.
Yes, George, we never get mad at you.
The 3 kids begin to walk off with George, who turns back and stares at Melkin briefly for a silent moment. Melkin yelps as he stumbles back and points a shaky finger at George.
Get him away! At once, or I'll call for the constable. Away, damn it!
Melkin stumbles off stage as we go to a blackout and quick scene change. We light up to a new group of houses just outside of the Tassel and Bones residence. The 3 kids and George all walk on together. Ichabod's face is now cleaned up and he seems to be all right from earlier. The four get to center stage before Katrina breaks the silence.
Goodness, it was very kind of Dr. York to look at Ichabod's nose to show us it wasn't broken. Ichabod, my sweet, how do you feel?
My nose is throbbing a bit, but it's getting better.
I gotta tell you, Ichabod, old pal, you sure do have guts.
I do?
Of course, you ran right up to Mr. Melton to save Katrina from getting hurt, from him squeezing her wrist. Golly, that takes a lot of courage.
A beat. Brom trails off in thought. Then he continues, his tone a bit more reflective and serious.
You really do care greatly for her. I can see that. Ichabod, Katrina, I'm awfully sorry. I was wrong to act the way I did earlier. I shouldn't be angry and jealous. I should be happy for the both of you. And I am. I really am.
I appreciate how kind you're being right now, Brom. Thank you.
Truce, friend.
Truce.
The two shake hands.
Goodness, this is what I like to see. The two of you acting like gentlemen.
Friend Ichabod, George will walk you to your house, yes?
Yes, George. Thank you. I'll call on you later, okay?
Yes, you may. Rest well now, Ichabod.
Ichabod pecks Katrina on the cheek. She smiles and pecks his cheek as well. Ichabod slowly walks off with George as Brom makes a move to go off as well.
I suppose I ought to go into my house as well. My father might have some chores for me to do. Good day, Katrina.
Brom, one more thing, if you please.
She beckons Brom over to her with a finger. Brom, curious and somewhat nervously, walks over to her. Soon, Katrina smiles and she gives Brom a lingering kiss on the cheek, then breaks it.
Oh, not that I mind, but golly, what was that for?
Consider that a thank you. Brom dear, I thank you. I thank you for jumping in like that. You did to help us back out there. Ichabod wasn't the only one brave today. You were very brave too.
I wasn't exactly. I just wanted to do what was right. I might be sad that Ichabod has your heart, but I still want to be your friend. And Ichabod's too.
I like that very much. My feelings for you might be different now, but yes, I still think you're a very good friend. And deep inside that tough, gruff exterior of yours, you truly are a very sweet boy.
Gee, thanks. But don't start uttering that around the other fellas. You know, so they don't hassle me. That would be a pain to have to go through.
Good day, Mr. Brom.
She walks off in a dainty and prim manner as Brom watches her go off. He sighs as he is now left alone on stage. Gently, he touches his hand to his cheek where Katrina kissed him, then lets it drop.
Gee, you know, a part of me will always be a little jealous and angry at Ichabod for winning you over, Katrina. But as long as he makes you happy, it makes me happy too.
With that, he slowly walks off stage as we fade to black.